Now, having said this, what is the way forward? How do we take this forward? We all know it, but how to translate it into action is again based on active involvement from the medical community, the pediatricians, the adolescent physicians. We have, as pediatricians, we play a very important role because we being the first point of contact, the family knows you, they know you from childhood. So we should be able to guide them in the right direction. So for this, the way forward would be the role of the caregivers. First, it starts from home, a stable home environment, the importance of a secure attachment, the is very important. As such, what happens during adolescence is parents themselves are going through a middle life crisis, whether it's in terms of their employment, whether it's in terms of their career. So they are also going through a turbulent phase. The adolescent is also going through a phase. So both need to be on. So we need to understand the challenges and the benefits that are happening on either sides to come to a Biomedia platform where we can promote healthy environment for both of them. And the importance of a school environment cannot be undermined. They play a very major role in providing building blocks for a healthy transition to adolescence. So building skills like compassion and empathy, academic schools will give, but what about building compassion and empathy? This is one of the primary areas which we want to focus when we roll out this program in schools. We want to focus more on these skills. As we all are aware, nowadays in any company, in anything, it is mandatory to have a role or corporate social responsibility. Now the foundations, it doesn't happen overnight, it doesn't happen in a day. So the foundations of this has to be laid much earlier. When I say much earlier, whether in early childhood, when we talk about emotions, when we label emotions, when we help children understand naming it, understanding others' perspective, and in adolescent period, we help them build compassion and empathy. We involve them in projects where they can give back to the community. So these are the fundamental building blocks of an adolescent development, which we should be aim to focus in the program that we are planning to roll out. Now, how do we want to do this? And so this is, again, we want to harness the creative potential of an adolescent. See, adolescents, they have a unique, they have to be, there are, I mean, lot of ways where we can get to them. We give them a listening ear. They don't want to hear lectures. They want they have an immense potential and they want to be identified for their talent. They like being, but it's up to us as caregivers to provide a good opportunity for them to harness their full potential. Again, setting boundaries and laying foundations for healthy relationships. Does that mean that we given to all what the adolescent says? And no, it is important for us to lay the foundations for this by setting clear boundaries and foundations. Talk to your adolescent much before it starts. It's like once everything is on fire, then there's no point in talking about it. So lay the foundations much earlier, talk about it, be open about conversations, like know what your child's friends are, who they are, who is he or she hanging around with. So all that is important. As parents, and caregivers, we should know the environment of where the child is. So this, and also when they are bound to test boundaries. They will want to do something novelty. They want to do something to stand out of the crowd and be identified as someone cool. But it is for us adults to lay foundations and clear boundaries. And so this will go a long way in helping them achieve their fullest potential. Now, how do we plan to implement this program? Having known this science behind it and all, we want to plan it as a session or plan sessions with a small group of adolescents, starting as a small group at schools, where we first would roll out what is called as a questionnaire, where we want to understand what is it that adolescents want, what are their questions that they have, what kind of, so it's just like attachment is a very important aspect of adults, what kind of parenting, what kind of parenting skills that we bring to the table is again a reflection of how we were, as what experiences shaped us. So adult attachment interview is finding its way in a big way. Similarly, we have to look at what is called as adolescent. We have to look into all these aspects of attachment when we ask, we have designed a simple questionnaire where we look at adolescents. We give a questionnaire to adolescents where we look at what kind of family environment they have, what do they value in their life, who is it that they want to share with, who are their friends, what is it like, how do they perceive change. So these are a set of questionnaires which we intend to roll out to this adolescents to understand where they are coming from, because as time changes, as situations change, so are the needs of the growing needs of changes of adolescents. So interactive sessions are planned with small groups where we intend to play an active role of not only giving lectures, just talk to them briefly about the science of it, but encourage them to have role play, have dialogues, and also build up on what is important life skills, which has already been dealt in the earlier lectures. Having said all this, we also need to understand that success of this program or any adolescent well-being program involves taking the caregivers into confidence. So we have this also thought of an exclusive session for parents where it is important to make parents understand what is the importance of a secure environment at home for the adolescent well-being. Now, understanding all the transition. So transition during adolescence is a big topic. It's a big science. It's a big practical. It has its practical applications. There is no one formula that fits everyone. A lot of trial and error goes into it, but all we need to understand is that it is an immense potential, a period of immense potential, which we can help our adolescents navigate through to build, to become the future adults of tomorrow. And as adults, we at some point have lost some of the features of adolescence. That's why we get into our lives are so mundane. Sometimes we are always running behind something. So the emotional, the creativity, the novelty. So we need to look into what is that aspect, what is that vitality that has gone missing from our lives, so that we can also do activities, so that we can also the adolescents. I'm sure all of us sitting here at some point would have memories or images of our adolescents, some good ones, some not so good ones. But again, the thing is, there is always a chance to start afresh, and today is the day. So what we need to now know is, we have the knowledge, so it needs to be translated into action.